I woke up this morning and I got up very quietly because I didn't want to wake Harold. He looks like an angel when he's asleep. But I want to focus on Trump's message because it's such a powerful one and it's a very simple one. We do not have to live this way. That is the mantra of recovery. Kamala's message is, if you break up with us, your life will be over. It'll never be the same. That is the language of addiction. People fall into addiction because they wake up every morning and despite the misery, they repeat the same process. And so finally someone says, you don't have to live this way.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good vibes, good energy, good people. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Okay, if you want to support my brand, it's inspiredbydreams.shop. Small business owner, just growing my community. Love you guys, and yeah, we gotta get it. Okay, so let's just set it off real quick. Healing energy to everybody out there who's had any lost ones in their families or been victims to any of the street violence or anything out there. Healing energy goes out to all of you guys, and things are gonna get better. Okay, so let's just start it off. Donald Trump, congratulations. He won the election, and like I always told you guys, I know a lot of you guys have been on my live from a while now, and I always tell you guys, one of the biggest things that people don't understand in these times, and it's in America, a lot of places don't understand this, and it's that you don't always get what you want. And sometimes you do get what you want. I see a lot of people complaining, but you have to understand there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers, and we still have to come together at the end of the day. And what I'm seeing is, we still have to make it, we still have to, the things that we want to see better for the country, we still have to be the person to initiate that and be the leader that people want to see in this world. So congratulations to Donald Trump. And yes, I only have good hope and hope for the best in these times. Now, I'm going to get you guys, as far as your mindset, as far as what things looking like for the future, I'm going to get us on a better way and a better path of looking towards that. Because we have a lot of things to, coming ahead. I hear a lot of people just like, don't let the elections and everything stress you out, or don't let people, because there's going to be a lot of things going on today. Even relationships break up because of this back and forth, who win who. But it's always, if we as the people, we still hold the power of how we want to see the future, how we want to see the country. So we have to be thankful and be grateful and show some kind of respect. I see a lot of people just talking and saying whatever they want to say, but we have to show some respect at the end of the day. He's a president, and we do want to see better for the country. That's what it was all about. And this ties to this talk this morning, you guys, is very, very important. And because I want you guys to understand, as people, I hear a lot of people throwing race in this and doing this. And as we all know, America, we can't just say it's the fairest place, but we can't just always throw race all the time. Okay, it's people. We have connections. This is why I always talk to my people. You guys, there's no race attached to that. There's a connection and communication attached to that. And that's how we communicate. Don't just automatically point and just say race. The reasons why things went the way it went is because of what people were pushing forward and what was happening in communities and how people felt inside. Did they feel like that just because somebody's saying something, you still have to make the decisions for yourself to realize, what is most important out of this conversation. And a lot of people don't know how to, differentiate that. And that's the reason why a lot of people are lost right now. But I want to tell everybody we're still all one. They are presidents and we are all still one. Whether we might have not the same things in common, or we might not agree on everything, we still have to come together at the end of the day to make things work as a solution. So we still have to show some respect. I see a lot of people out there, content creators, not getting what they want, or the person that they voted for, they might feel like, okay, so now what do we do? What do you do? What do you have to do is what you've been doing. You have to build your own blueprint. That's what this life is about. That's what this world is about. It's not about you saying, okay, now I have to just go to what they're saying. No, you have to take whatever happens and if it's a hurdle for you or it could be a trophy for you, whatever you do, you have to take it and make the best of it. That's what makes you who you are. We as individuals, as the people out there that have to put forth and make sure our communities and everybody is safe, that is all up to us. We have to look at it like that. We have to start taking a little more responsibility in not only ourselves, but the people in our communities and the people around us. We all have to police each other. We all have to try to do the right thing at the end of the day. So don't look at it like, oh, because this person won or that person lost, it's over for me. No, it's not over for you. It's everything is a beginning for everybody. Now, I do like the quote when he says, make America healthy again, because there's a lot of us, a lot of our family members, a lot of young kids, the way that the air, the food, everything has contamination in it. I would really like to see America more healthy, because it doesn't matter about, war is not cheap. And let me tell you, not only is war not cheap, you have to pay for it, but at the end of the day, you have to be healthy enough to survive it. And these are the things that has to go in play when you're building out a chessboard, and that chessboard has to do with America. If the chessboard is America, we have to make sure each of the individual, as we all are soldiers, whether we're fighting in a war or whether we are fighting in our community, we have to have some kind of soldier mentality to make it through. So don't start saying, oh, I lost. Don't say you lose. Never say you lose. Say you're winning. You're going to get over this. You're going to go past it. You're going to make it happen. There's not anything that went wrong. He's the president, and he's going to try to do the best he can. In our hearts, we hope that he can do the best he can to try to make America a little better than what it was. So try to keep your faith up. Try to keep the fear out of your mind. We are all dealing with, it's a lot of families out here that it's easy for a person to say, just concentrate on the money. But there's a lot of people that's been affected by, and I'm not saying immigrants as far as, because my family is from Barbados, but I was born in America. And I'm not talking about those immigrants and the people that, are in America that makes it a melting pot. I'm talking about the new people that came in and started gang banging and hurting civilians and getting away with it because they had no, they wasn't from here, and just getting away with crimes. Don't you guys know, and I spoke about this on a separate video, but I have to bring it. It trickled over into hip hop, you guys. We'll bring this whole conversation 360, but I want to let you know that affected one of our legends in hip hop. His name is Buckshot Shorty. Now, at first I thought he was walking in Brooklyn, and in Flatbush, Brooklyn, they're saying that he had got almost beat to death. So when I thought about this whole situation, I said, what's going on right now? Well, a lot of people are having conversations. There's a lot of elections going on. There's a lot of back and forth fighting. So maybe he might have got into something in the street, talking back and forth, and something happened and somebody beat him up. But the story turns out when he came out the hospital, he gave us a message that how, he had ownership of this place, and I guess there were squatters or something like that. And when he went to go try to figure the situation out, the squatters or whoever, I guess they beat him. They beat him half to death. Now, when you think about that and bringing it back in 360 in the times that we're living in, these are some of the things that we need a change in our communities. People coming in and just raising the crime rate, and eventually what happens is the authority ends up hurting our families and our kids not knowing who is who when this crime is going on. So there are things that we can all focus on as citizens, as individuals, and we can say, you know what, I do see a problem over there. Maybe if I highlight this more and talk about these issues, it can fall on the desk of Donald Trump. You have to show some kind of respect. You don't know what the man can do. The man can probably put some things in order, even if he didn't speak about it before. He can also look back at some of the things that on the other side, that people were really pushing for to and kind of incorporate it. He's the president. There's a lot that can be done. So don't always just think negative all the time. Start from a positive mindset, and you'll find positive results. Because a lot of times people, they think that, these war tactics and these versus type of things solves problems. It doesn't. Solving problems, you're coming together, and then you're making something happen or something work. Now, I feel like as far as the little things that I feel personally, I feel like, the working class people have to be compensated way more than they have been. You know, there's a lot of people out there giving their all into working and they're not being compensated. They're not going home with a smile on their face for their families. I think that can be adjusted. I feel like the future, these are just things I made up myself, but hopefully somebody can take it and run with it because I try to put my ideas down and I try to make it make sense. Now, one of them I thought about trusted time. And I made up trusted time because trusted time for me stands for trusting the time that you have in there. It's almost like a contract that whatever you're gonna get, you're gonna know how much your payout is before you go in, and whatever trusted time you have in there, your pay should increase on the value that you bring to whatever job or whatever situation you're working for. And under that trusted time, it will be like a union where even if you get fired, your pay continues, and so you can have some kind of structure, at least starting to work for a place that you know that you thought that possibly could, you know, you will have pension, and when you get to the end of the road they snatch it away from you. This time around you will know how much you're building up in your value, and everything could increase the harder you work. So that what that does is it opens people's mind to work harder and plus get their worth for their talent. A lot of people right now are getting worth for their hustle, and just hustling things doesn't mean that your heart is into it. So if we can turn America around and just try to make more highlights on the talent, you'll see people working harder, and we'll start getting and curing and doing a lot more things that will be more meaningful to the world instead of everybody just trying to content create because it makes a few dollars. What we have to do is start putting people in the right positions of following their own dreams instead of everybody turning into this super hustle man and just doing things for the sake of making a few dollars because trying to survive. So we have to, these are issues that we have to really cover. And you have to remember people, the old saying is, people will never forget, you know, what you said to them. They'll only remember how you made them feel. So if that's the case, we have to make sure that we all get touched, or everybody gets touched in a way where they feel some kind of benefit or some kind of benefit out of this. And I think it can work in America. Yeah, there's a big debt, but yeah, there's a lot more things that we can open and get value from. And these are the things that we have to concentrate on. Let's not concentrate on the divide or the separation between us. Let's concentrate on coming together. Your ideas, put it together instead of your ideas and your ideas, the same thing. We'll get nowhere like that. So once everybody's compensated for the things that they're really God's given talent, it will bring America back to a place where we could at least feel comfortable going back out there and striving for something. Once you take out that energy of people not wanting to strive for it and you get into that survival mode, people are most liable to just burning themselves out or just not even knowing their journey. And it's not fair to people. It's not fair to Americans. I don't feel like it's fair to anybody around the world to not have a chance to at least live out some of their dream or at least be compensated for the things that they love doing. And those are the things that I just pull out of this. I don't want to pull the negative out of this whole thing because somebody didn't win. You can't be a sore loser. Look, when it comes down to, you know, just competing, there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. Sometimes the loser is the winner, and sometimes the winner is the loser, and sometimes everything is supposed to go the way it's supposed to go. You guys, we got to get past that. And that's not about who's winning or who's losing. It's about who's willing to give it all up for everybody else to benefit. And that's what leadership comes from. The leadership qualities is not what just people talk about in their raps or whatever they have to say. Leadership qualities is actually going out there in the mud and getting dirty yourself. When you wipe off your wounds, it's because somebody else trying to help you, they're wiping off theirs. And that's what it's all about, building. It's not about, you know, you can have, nowadays you see people, it's like we're in the era of duplication where people see other people being successful in these little things and they want to duplicate it, but it never becomes the same type of success. And it's because they don't have their heart in it. And that's the reason, that's where America has to get back to. Forget all this nonsense about who's better than who, or who has more followers or subscribers than who, or who's getting whose attention. It's more all about who are the people that's giving it from their heart and being truthful behind it. People you can trust. And that's what life is about. It's not just about the people that's just throwing things in your face and then the next year you have to subscribe to something else or you have to buy the same thing back. No, it's about being truthful and people trusting you. And that's what it's all about. Everything else are just little things that we have our hurdles we have to get over. Some of these things that we're going to have to get over ourselves. And we can't just look at these people in these figures, big figures, to do it for us. We're going to have to really go out there and get ourselves dirty in the mud and start working ourselves up to the top. Because if we don't do it that way, we're going to find ourselves always complaining, always asking for things when we know that our value, we deserve it. So if you feel like you deserve it in your heart, you have to raise your value. And that's what I just wanted to start it off by saying that, because a lot of people, I know the depression kicks in because some people feel like they didn't get what they want. I see it on people's faces, and I see like the content, negative content is going all over the place. And I see everything that, even when it comes down, I heard on the news, I believe it was one of these stations, and they said, that everybody at Kamala Harris on list, they was at the Diddy party. Well, you know what? You don't want to mix these two situations, because when you're dealing with crime and you're dealing with politics, trust me, it's not, even though we see a crime in a little bit of everything, it's not the right thing to do at this certain point in time. This is the times where this is the first beginning of the blueprint of what we have set for us for the next 4 years. So let's take this serious and try to get ourselves and our mindsets in a position of like getting back out there, and because it's not going to be the easiest thing the healthy part. I think the health is a major factor, but we also have a business. When it comes down to America, it's a business, so we're gonna have to also concentrate on technology. If you guys are into stocks, if you guys are into investments, those are the places where you want to keep your eye on, just for little things. If you want to drop your money in, these are the things that's going to be really highlighted. And I feel like going towards the future, 2025, and these next years to come, we're going to see a lot of things going towards in the health field and technology. So those are things, if you want, and if you want any help on coming up with anything, any content, or maybe some ideas on any of those things, I can help you out with that too. Now let's get into the show. Let's get it going, get onto these topics. And yes, I hope you guys can understand and just know out there that we're all human beings, and everybody makes mistakes, and we have to start realizing our communication has to be more clearer. And just forming a crowd of people and getting together doesn't mean everybody's seeing eye to eye. And just because people don't agree doesn't mean it's about race. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's just a beneficial for the whole entire. And when people hold like the same type of thoughts, if it's a wrong thought, it's all about communication. Miscommunication, misinformation, a lot of that stuff, we're going to have to know how to weave through and differentiate what's what in these times to come. So, because it's very important. Social media plays a big part in a lot of things we do. So we're going to have to start being more sharp on what are we looking at, our intake is, and how we're going to go for it and invest in ourselves to get the best of ourselves. If we can't put the best of ourselves out, what's the sense of putting yourself out there? Because in these times, your value comes from you and who you are. The time you're willing to put in, whether it's in somebody else's dream or your own dream, it's still going to be accounted for. And that's how you make value and make yourself, and get some money for yourself and get wealth for your family. Now, let me see. I have a few things I have put down to the side for you guys, but just when that, the whole election thing came in, I just wanted to give you my take on it and how I feel from my heart. I don't have to write that type of stuff down. Let me see. Okay, one thing that kind of, it was bothering me a little bit, because I'm like, you can't keep making these same mistakes. Now, Kodak Black, I guess he was in doing like a live with Kai Cenat, I believe his name is, and it looked like he was back on pills, and I'm just saying allegedly because I'm hoping that he kept the mind frame in these times when it comes to drugs and all these other type of substances that alter your mind and take you out of the person who you are. I would say, man, you can't fall back into that trap, Kodak. God gave you a talent to make music, and the real people don't realize it's not really the talent to make music that God gave you. He gave you the talent to communicate through music, and people get that twisted. But I don't want to get too deep for you on you guys. But Kodak Black, it just looks like he's with the pills. It's all about the people you have around you. If people seeing you almost lose your life because of that type of lifestyle, you have to put yourself in a place where people are going to love you. And that's one of the reasons why I say Young Thug, when he just came out jumping on social media, I know he has good people around him like T.I. and things, but it's not always the best thing to do so quick. You have to have some kind of control in yourself how you present yourself, and what you're going to talk about. Because if you don't have none of that, and let me tell you something. If Kodak Black, God forbid, should find himself back in prison, it's not going to be easy for him to get himself out. He's been doing time here, going back and forth, and they've been doing this spinning wheel with him. And eventually, when the judge throw the book at him, he's going to realize that his life at that point is over. And it's due to just that altered mindset. He's a talented artist. I can't say Kodak Black isn't. He's a very talented artist. But it's like that, a snap of a finger, you can blow your whole career away. That's why I have so much respect for artists like Kendrick Lamar. And just jumping on this real quick with the Kendrick and the Lil Wayne. I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I think Kendrick Lamar earned his right to perform at the Super Bowl. Some people are making an issue of a hometown issue, when I think it's more an issue of it's a worldly look. I think the world wants to see him in that position, and we want to see him get to the point where he well deserved. Lil Wayne earned his spot just as well, and he's hit heights that a lot of MCs can't touch. So let Kendrick Lamar get his proper, and he's not like a. And what I've seen too, I've seen way beyond that. I know people just see it for the forefront, but I said, Kendrick Lamar, he comes, he doesn't, he's from a Crip set, and then you have Wayne from a Blood set. Why? I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see that that friction amongst my own people again. And I've seen that happen, and before it even happened. And I said, I don't want that friction. I don't want to keep hearing the Bloods going, because they're good people. We love both of those artists. Without those artists, hip hop wouldn't have been what it is today. So I don't want to see no friction between our artists, because we have enough friction going on in the world that we're trying to solve. So that's how I felt. I feel like if Kendrick Lamar hits that stage, it's well due. He's worked hard, and I don't feel like I feel like I went back to the Damn album, and all I can say is, damn. Because Kendrick, it's not. Sometimes hip hop can be hot. Put it like this: if you want to change your mindset and you want to look at it like this, look at it like all the music is good, and then look for the standouts that can really uplift the culture. Kendrick uplifts the culture not only from a street point of view, he uplifts the culture as far as like dealing with his own black people, and even dealing with Los Angeles, the crime. It's a lot of things that goes into it that makes it what it is. So that pot of gumbo, when that's stirred up and it makes him who he is, that's authentic to people, and that resonates with people. And I feel like he's earned it to be on the Super Bowl. Wayne, you had a lot of chances, did many things, and I'm not taking anything away from you. But if I was you, I would love Kendrick to be in my hometown, because that will be the certain MC I would say, you know what, I want him to be the influence in my hometown as well, because he has a story too that influenced a lot of people on a worldwide, So that's just how I feel about that, And I thought about it, and I feel like, Kendrick earned this right, and I'm hoping to see that too. Another thing. And Lil Wayne, don't feel ripped off, because you're not ripped off. You have a hell of a career, still have a hell of a career, and still have more to go. So you shouldn't feel ripped off. If you do feel ripped off, and in that game, it would be from the people around you, as far as like the money and those type of situations. But as far as resonating with the people, no, we heard you loud and clear. We know who you are. You're a legend. You're a GOAT. And it's not taking anything from you. It's just saying time has its spaces, time has its pockets, and in these times where right now Kendrick Lamar earned his time to be there. Okay, let me see. Now I'm going back, and I want to touch on it because it ain't right. We're definitely dealing with hip hop, politics, and everything in one gumbo pot today. Buckshot Shorty. This is the reason why I always say, if you don't know your past, you don't know where you're going. Coming up in hip hop, I'm not gonna say we had to really study the people that came before us, as like the people that have music before we attached to it, but it was something that we wanted to know, and that is because there's history and there is meaning in why and what people do what they do. So at the end of the day, if you don't know the people in the past, you don't have any respect, or you don't form any type of, you don't know. And I thought with the whole Buckshot, the beat down in Brooklyn and everything, it's just, at first I said, is that some young boys, because I see the temperature of the street. But finding out that he got caught up in the mix with the squatters, it looks like, I'm not sure, but the squatters, that's gang related. That's not just, don't think when it's the squatters, it's just like, little old lady and her two sons. No, 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 no. These are gangs in in these neighborhoods that's willing to do anything. And I think he should have been more wise on just the argument, not having that communication, knowing that when he got there, that they weren't going to give it up easy or just walk out the place that he owns, whatever he was trying to do, whether get money or whatever he was trying to do. It wasn't going to go that way. In these times, you got to really understand the temperature of the streets and understand that people, mentally, a lot of people are messed up. People are in this survival mode and they're willing to do anything to get a fast dollar, which is not right. And that's what leads to those type of situations. So I've seen a couple content creators, I didn't like, I seen the video, but I didn't like the fact that, it gave me a kind of rub like the Nipsey Hussle, like, damn, you really had to see this, because he's an older rapper at it. And we all know in the culture, man, as you get older, you're getting in your late 40s, early 50s, things change about yourself. You're not the same guy that could run around there and maybe shoot a fair one or argue with somebody and out there scuffling. You're not the same person. As life would tell it, your body is going to structure to what you have up here. Eventually, at first, your body structures to you running and everything, but it's like I told you with your senses, when you start slowing down on your movements and everything, your other senses start getting higher and higher and higher, and those are the things you have to concentrate on. Having your mind sharp enough to know that I can get out of this situation without me having to hurt myself or hurt somebody else. You got to think that way. It's nothing. That's not no righteous. That's just thinking. I said everybody, no matter if you're from the streets, poverty, suburbs, you have to have a little bit of street smarts if you want to maneuver in places where people have this type of energy. You can't just be strolling around the world without knowing where you're going or who you about to bump into. So these are the type of situations. I feel bad for Buck because, the older you get, it takes longer to heal. When you was younger and you broke your a leg or you sprain your ankle, yeah, a couple you back on the court. But when you get older, it takes longer and longer, and that one break could turn into two breaks, could turn into this, to that, to this and that, and that's just how life works. It's something that we have to be more aware and know that there's people out there that's willing to harm us on any by any means possible. So healing energy goes out to Buckshot Shorty. The whole boot camp, big influence on hip hop. Like I told you guys, when it comes down to the backpacks and things like that, he's really one that gave a big highlight on just threw that into fashion and kind of gave it a little staple with his crew. And yeah, he means a lot to a lot of people. So it's not like people out here don't respect the man, or he's just like some anybody walking around say he rap. No, he's somebody that made a mark in the culture, and we should respect that as fans. And I should see a little more post out there giving them a little more healing energy, but it don't matter because I'm gonna do what I gotta do to let people know, who he is or what he meant for me. A lot of the dudes that came from the old school didn't have the same opportunities as these new cats. And I'm pretty sure a lot of those dudes are real. Some of those dudes are good dudes. If they did have the opportunity, we'd have seen a little shift in hip hop or a little more guidance. But being that everybody get, they get caught up in whatever's going on, whether it's paperwork or just time getting your life, and they end up in a place where, they find themselves falling back, and then the youth come in, and then we hopefully, it goes higher and higher and higher. But lately we have been seeing that when hustle got into the game and people's contracts and money and things are not going the right way and the communication is lost, we tend to see people making it more like a place where survivors just go there to get the hustle on and try to make something out of it. Hip hop is more than that. It's bigger than that. It's a place where you don't have to go and leave, It's a place where you can stay and build. And that's how it really supposed to be, instead of people just going out there and just trying to make a few dollars off it and run, take off, say something negative, go viral. That ain't the way of looking at it. It's a culture. It's something that needs to be respected more. And the people that's in it and carved it out for the people that's entertained by it, we got to show a little more respect. And especially we hear a lot of things going on in the news, say like the Diddy situation or whatever's going on. Those are things we can speak on because as human beings and as citizens and people out here and average working people, we that thing hurts our families and those things affect our lives. And once it gets to that point, that's when we have the right to speak up. But digging for information and going into what people, you know, hiding and this and that type of stuff, you're probably doing the wrong thing, and you don't want that karma to turn around and, you know, get back at you. So when it comes to things like that, the reason why we speak on certain situations is because they affect our families, whether they be our nephews, our nieces, sons, daughters, whatever it may be. They are being influenced by these people, you know, because it's not like we want to be in these positions or we want to be an entertainer, a movie actor, or a rapper. It's not that. It's just the fact that we find friction and we find that miscommunication when we're just trying to let people know that it is affecting us. And if can you change it or go a different way? And everybody right now, even if it's music or elections, people are looking for change. And once we realize that we all have the same thing in mind as change, even if we might want changes in different places, when we realize, oh, if we start organizing us and we start realizing and start separate, okay, pattern, okay, you guys want change in this, you guys want change in this, okay, this is what we got to do that. And once we start figuring out the things will start getting better, you guys. So don't feel down or just because sometimes things don't go your way or things went your way. For the people that voted for Donald Trump, you know, congratulations, and hopefully the things that you believed in him to do, he does. And I hopefully that if that makes you guys or everybody that's into that, because I don't care, it's no more sides, you guys, at this point. I always say this. After they start doing this Democratic, Independent, you know, Republican, after that all stuff is over and we figure it out, it's back to work. It's back to work for us. We all got to realize that. It's back to work for us. It's back to us being us. And it's no more pointing the finger at your neighbor because they had different opinions. People have different opinions. And I never knock anybody, especially with social media. I've seen people get misinformation and it felt believable if I didn't know the information. And I can't knock them from that. I can't knock them for that because I can't tell you how to think or how to take stuff in. I can't. All of that stuff comes with understanding and knowing what is what. You know, if you haven't seen these in different situations or know how to identify them, I can't trust in you to try to identify it when it's time, when it's needed, you know? So I don't knock nobody for what there is. All I'm saying is don't let it go to your head and don't walk around with your head down. Just get yourself back together. Know that we have to all put a hand in this, you know, like he said, making America healthy again. That sounds good. So let's all put a hand into trying to get things solved around here and don't look at it like, you know, oh, it's a back and forth. Let's not keep up with that type of energy and stick to the energy that's needed for us to, you know, make this country, you know, feel and us have our families feel better and things like that. We have the holidays coming. What are we doing? We want to rush into it with the same type of energy. When we know we got to do the best we got to do for our family, we don't want to go about it like that. We want to go into the holidays and go into, you know, with our family and the people that's still around us. We want to go around there with some love. So don't have these heavy heads about how this is supposed to be or you ain't get your way. Let me tell you something. In my life, there's a lot of times I ain't get my way when I felt like I was supposed to get my way. Hey, it happens to a lot of people, you know. Sometimes you got to get over the hurdle and just do what you got to do. Not everybody's going to always get their way. That's what makes you who you are, and that's what makes you a warrior. You keep going and going and going and going. And if you love keep going and going and going, you have no problem. It's a good life. It's a life well lived, you know. So don't let that bug you out. Another thing there's a lot of layoffs going on in iHeart Media. So when you hear that, I want you guys to know, if you're thinking about any jobs, you're thinking about making some money on media, or maybe doing something for your company through promotional with media, when you hear like iHeart Media layoffs, you got to start thinking that the layoffs are coming out in it's not just them. It's going to be a lot of other companies that you're going to see these layoffs, but you have to put yourself in a position where your new investment will be you. That's your new investment. Little by little, penny by penny, quarter by quarter, dollar by dollar, your investment will be you. Your mindset, your health, your entrepreneurship, just learning things, new things, is always a good thing. And that's what it's all about. So when you hear layoffs and things like that, just know that there's going to be a lot of people looking for things to do, a lot of people looking for new ways. If you're in a position where you're in a leadership position, you want to build a tribe of people where you can make them money and fix things for them. If you see somebody with an expertise, they might have expertise in radio. You might have a podcast. Okay, yeah, they're a new face and they're not new. That's the best. A new face is always better than a face that people are used to, because when people are used to you, they already know what you got to give. So if you have a new face and you add it on, now you can take your expertise and take it anywhere around, and you can bring value to yourself. When you hear layoffs, just understand those are just hurdles where there's going to be a lot of openings in different places where some people are going to run back to work, and some people are going to say, you know what, it's time to take the leap. And they're just going to do the leap. And we got to be the ones there to catch them and be like, okay, I have something for you can do too. Throw my idea, because all of those little things, those help. It leaves a trail of good people out there and things just building. Once you get that mindset of building and working with people and communicating with people, you no longer look at like, oh, what they got. Oh, that's like mine, or that looks like mine, or they're trying to bite this off me. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Your value comes with you. Whatever you put out there, what you get back, that's the value. And people don't want to build a value in themselves because they see other people doing less and they feel like they're building themselves. But just because you're gaining money doesn't mean that you're gaining value. Remember, things can happen. It's just like, it's almost like sugar. You know, it's sweet, but it can kill you. You have to get the value and know exactly what you're doing. Your health, your entrepreneur, your mindset. When you have this, you can do anything. You can be a barber today and a magician tomorrow. It doesn't matter. As long as your heart's in it, God put you on this earth for you to do what you have to do and what he wants you to do, because whatever he wants you to do is going to help so many other people. And that's the trade you get for that good karma. That's the trade in it. That's the trade in it. So get your minds off of who's winning this or who won that. Get your mind more focused on, how am I going to win? How am I going to, okay, we're going to make America healthy. Okay, let's break that down. Okay, so healthy, we got some loved ones, not, the air's not been the best, food. So these are different departments you can not only make some money in, but you can make a difference in. If you know anybody that knows something that somebody else doesn't know, maybe it's a recipe from your culture that you can bring for, get a food truck. You know something that in the medical field, because your mom's a nurse and she might be drinking this certain tea that might help you out when you're sick, that you don't have to take pills. Okay, now you have information that's valuable in the medical field. These are all the things that when we come together, we can do a whole lot more than just bickering around at each other and saying, who'd you vote for? Or what are you doing? No, it's not about that. It's about, oh, you did that. Okay, I don't understand why you did that, but check out what I did too. Okay, we have some kind of things that's similar. We doing something. Let's try to put this together. That's how we make things work in America. It's no other way. If you got pizza down the block here, you're gonna have jerk chicken up the block. It's the cultures have to come together to make that recipe of change. That's what it's all about. Don't let these people fool you just because they're in office, because Trump just can't say change and it just changed. No, we have to be the ones to do that too. So if just because people are pointing you in a direction, if you're not willing to go towards that way, and you don't have anything else in mind, that doesn't mean anything's going to happen, right? So look at life like that. Look at technology as the next thing that's going to guide you to whatever you have going for yourself. And the more you see people doing the same things, the more you understand that something is wrong in these situations. It's always a pattern. When you see everybody agreeing on the same thing, there's truth in a lot of things, and there's false information in a lot of things. If you don't know the difference between the two, you fall in that group opinion. You want to think for yourself. We have so many things in these times trying to think for us, as far as the phones, ChatGPT, Google, all these things are thinking for us. The less we need them to think for us, the sharper we get up here. And then that system has to rely on us to get more information, that what we learned to build it. Remember, ChatGPT was built off of us, and what we had in here, it just keeps building. The thing that makes that amazing is that the memory bank in it is what keeps the information, and it configures it. But if you can do that in your own head of the things that pertains to you, then you got a whole cabinet of things that's going to be valuable to your life and other people's lives when they come around you. Yeah, once you build value in yourself, you feel good about yourself, you got value to yourself, and people come around you, they think it's almost like a miracle because good karma starts to brush off on them because they start picking up the values and the things that you want to accomplish. They start seeing themselves in these things too. Remember, we're human. It's not like we're going to be too far off from each other. You might like the same hat I like, but you might want to wear it in a different way. That is the communication, and that's the things that's going to make us all push forward. So those are things I just want to bring to you guys. Let me see. I have some more things for you guys, though. So Diddy celebrated his birthday in prison. That's a damn shame. And it's almost to the point where I heard the video where I heard his voice, and it was a little. I felt a little. I felt a little weird. I would say I'm not, gonna. I felt a little weird because it's still his family, and if you love your family, you have to have some kind of understanding. When you're in a jam, whether it's a big jam or a small jam, and your family's singing happy birthday, and you just want to get back to those people. It's crazy. That's why you never leave this hurt behind you. Don't leave. Your legacy shouldn't be attached to your legacy, because this is what happens. Because if you leave a legacy, let's just say you leave a legacy of hurt, there's always going to be somebody on the corner down the block while everybody's celebrating that person. They're in that little corner like, man, they don't even know. So you don't want to be that person. And we all took a learning lesson from this. Whether you indulging in that type of lifestyle, get yourself out of that before it gets serious, like how it get with this guy. Because now is it worth it? Is it worth it spending the rest of your life? And for what? For what? Sex? Come on, you guys. We human beings. You have sex with me, I have sex with you. But as long as me and you have an agreement, me and you are doing what we're doing, we don't have to the more you have to bring other people in your situation, other people in your bedroom, other people in your family, the more you're going to find yourself in trouble. That's why a lot of these relationships fail. A lot of these relationships, they leave the door open. Once they get in the relationship, they leave the door open for a whole group of other people trying to fulfill these fantasies that they probably seen on TV or they can't fulfill out because it's going to break their own damn relationship. It makes no sense of trying to be the dominator anymore. That was a thing of the past. It's not that dominating. That's the reason why a lot of relationships right now are lost. We're hearing that, they're not. You'll be surprised how many relationships you see them on, you think they're so perfect, and those are the ones behind the scenes that's the wildest, and the ones that you think is the wildest are the ones behind the scenes that's so perfect because they know how to fix their situations. Yeah, they coming on there wilding at each other, and meanwhile they going on for 20, 30 years together. There's a difference in that. It's the communication difference. If me and you both come into this relationship and we're both trying to heal each other and we're both argumentative, we're not going to get anywhere. But if one of us has a balance where one is not and the other, that's what makes the balance, because eventually all the good things that both of you guys have to offer is going to become one when you guys become one. And people get lost in this because a lot of people, they stop at the sex part. They stop at the sex part, not realizing that life has a lot of other steps you have to go through. And if you want somebody to go through with you, they got to be really on your side, not, on their knees or behind you, by your side. I take the temperature of today, I know how it is. I understand because it's right after election and you guys some people are happy. And like, for the people that did, and all the people, remember, there's two sides. So the people that got what they wanted out of this situation, don't go look down on the other people and say, I told you this and that, because it's not even about that either. It's about, stopping somebody and saying, okay, look, this is what I feel like could come out of this situation, because if you really think about it, a lot of people, I've seen people argue different parties with the same type of information. It was just, information was everywhere. So, don't knock nobody. And people, it's kind of like, I've seen a lot of people going to take it to, because they've invested their time and their lives into this whole debate and back and forth. This is what happens. This is what I tell you happens after. It's not about, how hard you can punch. That's why people say it's all about what you can take. What you can take in counts way more than what you can dish out. What you can dish out, there's always a certain amount that you can dish out and it will hurt everybody. But what you can take in, nobody would know what you can take in. That's something that you hold. That's your inner luggage right there. That luggage that you keep with yourself that nobody That's just how you take stuff in. That's what we're trying to clear. That's what makes your mindset and everything, and you look at different situations and get the best out of them. That's where we at today, man. That's exactly where we at. Let me see. I did have, you know what else I have for you guys? Just like I had like I felt like these are things that's in the future that's gonna be able to, like, it's gonna change things. I think the marriage, like as far as marriage, it's gonna change. I feel like marriage is gonna become a thing like a license where it's you have to renew it because of the shortness and just, you know, when time and energy and money is being wasted on people jumping into these relationships, getting married and getting divorced. Not only are you losing time, your mental energy is being drained by the lawyers and the courts. So I feel like they're going in the future is going to be more people. It's going to be like a license. You know, you have to renew it, and if it's not renewed, it kind of like if you don't renew it, it's not, it's not him taking your money, she's taking your money. It's all about, at this point you're not renewing. You was married before, now you're not, and up to this point, your kids at this age, so you guys can have different type of decisions. I think that back and forth fighting with like child support, this and that, it draws a line between, you don't know who's right, who's wrong, because in both situations, somebody can be right, somebody could be wrong, and it could be vice versa, So that, I feel like that's going to be a big thing. That's going to be probably that, and also, like I said to you guys, the trusted time. And let me see. I had something else I had wrote down. I wanted you guys to pay attention to. Um, hold on, you guys. Oh, I just feel like phones are not going to be here anymore. With the power of social media, I feel like phone numbers, because I'm feeling like communication is going to be so powerful that people are going to be so quick to, like, the communication will be so strong that you won't even need a phone number. Because a phone number is just another attachment, kind of like a social, but it's being so, social media is being the forefront of everything, and credentials are being used from social media. So I feel like phone numbers are not going to be a thing too. But hey, you never know. Or maybe it might be more added to a phone number that defines more about you, or maybe a more long lasting, something that's more like a social security. I think numbers are going to be coming to play when it comes to the future, as far as identifying who we are in a majority type of playing field, not just on a one-to-one, but on a majority. I feel like numbers are going to play a big part. And when it comes to, I see a lot of people not knowing where to leave things back. I see that's been a problem in this world, like leaving things back, like statues and leaving back. I still feel like that would never change. I feel like everything should be left that is valuable enough. Everything, the most meaningful and valuable stuff are left in the book. So books are the things that carry on through time, because when a person reads it, they don't need to have the actual book to remember it. And that's what makes it so special. So if that book goes anywhere, it can be rewritten if the proper person that read it. And I feel like I feel like books are still growing value just because of that old traditional, and books feel like there's more truth to it than digital. Even like I always tell you guys, you can't manifest anything if you just type it down digital. No, write it down with ink or with a pencil, and you'll see it more manifest than you just typing it. Because, you know, when it comes to technology, you got to remember there's no heartbeat, there's no feelings in that. It's just patterns, and that's all it is, So we have to be the ones to bring life into the things that we do, and life brings the value. Life brings the difference, and it differentiates the things that we love best. Yeah, you might love doing it this way, I love doing it that way, but we still both come to that same solution or conclusion. That's what makes it all worth it. Us as human beings. And I don't want to get a little. That's what I had for you guys on that one. You guys, I have a couple videos. I have a couple conversations coming up, but I also want to just start breaking little things down, like the redesign mindset playlist. I think I have about 3 videos in there, And I want to bring that up to more videos. So I really need you guys to really show some love on that playlist and share it around to your friends. There are 3 videos in there. I'm going to add another one in there I'm working on. And they're just different things to make you look at things a little bit different, so you find value in things that's going to be more beneficial to your life. Don't look at somebody's jewelry or look at somebody's logo clothing and think that that value, even if you snapped it off and put it on yourself, you'll get the same feeling. No, you get the feeling in the things that you value most. And that's the reason why my brand is like that. They're pieces that can last longer than just wearing it one time. And I want to get people's mindset back onto that, because all of that, just wearing it once, throwing it away, it never made sense to me. I never really, I know, Nike sneakers, the Uptowns or the Air Force One, some would call it, the whites were, in hip hop, they were always represented, like as far as like the rich, because you only could wear them once without a scuff in them. And that was cool. But I always thought about, why not the black ones? Like, when you wear black sneakers, you could make it through anything, and you could wear it hundreds of times and you could still wipe them down and they still look good. You got to have that mind frame. You see, like, just because you can't afford the most expensive shoes or sneakers, you always know people will respect you and they won't look down at what you're wearing when you have this up here. They're looking you eye to eye. And that's the difference with me. I do wear nice stuff, but at the end of the day, even if I didn't have it to do it, people will still respect me for me and the things that I have up here, not what I'm wearing on my feet. So that doesn't define you. And once you start realizing that, you start looking at black as more like it's a feeling of getting through. It's a feeling of breaking through no matter what. And it's that rebel in that black texture. So I would say big up the black sneakers that you can wear more than once, and if they get a scuff, you can wipe them off and you can make them still look fresh again. Get your mindset on some new things and not what people just tell you out there, because once you start looking at the little things different, then you'll have a better understanding of the bigger things. Don't just try to figure out the bigger things in life if you can't understand just the little things that are set in place for you to think the way you think. When you start really breaking stuff down, you start realizing, you know what? If I could solve this math problem right here, I can actually play this game of chess right here. And the more I get better, everything has some sort of connection to it. That's all it is. That's all it is. There's an A, there's a B, there's a C, there's a D. This is always going to be the back and forth. And that back and forth has to be the right balance for you to live your life and do the things you want to do. Don't let this election go to your head, y'all. There's a lot of other things we got to tackle out here that's going on, especially in hip hop. We got to get this game back to where it once was. Even in battle rap. Shouts out to all my battle rap. Let me give a shout. Hold on. I was watching my guys. I keep forgetting to shout people out, and I'm gonna make it my business today to shout my guys out. Hold on. Let me see. I did put it down here. Hold on. Hold up. Because I'm not going to be acting like I'm on here and I don't watch other people's channels. Sometimes I'm watching their channels and I'm entertained. I forget I got to do a video, So, hold on. Let me give them they shout outs. Always shout outs to Willie D. Shout outs to Choke No Joke. Shout outs to Piper Boy. Shout outs to Andy Appleseed. Shouts out to, hold on. Shouts out to Harlem TV. 050 The Movement. Where's my guy? Hold on. Good. These are good dudes. Okay. Shouts out to Battle Facts and Harlem Legend TV. I was watching them. Shouts out to Battle Facts. Good dude. Just keeping the culture of battle rap and just keeping it scaled the right way, because at the end of the day, we're seeing a lot of people are trying to get the most out of everybody else and scamming people. And once you have good people in the culture, you should always support them. And they are people. So we all one. I wanted to shout them out, man. Battle Facts. He's always he's a good dude. Always, see me in the chat, give me a little shout. Even if I'm a smaller channel, they never treat me like I'm nobody. They always give me a shout like, "Yo, Mickey made it." You'll hear that come through the chat because I'm always showing love. So shouts out to all my peoples. I do want to see the battle leagues. I do want to see a little more structure from them. And sometimes, like I told you before with the battle leagues, as far as the league owners and the bosses. Sometimes you take a loss for the better of your people to put that smile on Loaded Luck's face or K-Shine face or whoever you got to get, them in a position where they feel good to come out there and hit those stages and perform at their best. And we got to try. I feel like battle rap needs more sponsors and more open eyes to what they're doing. Sometimes everybody can't pay for the pay-per-view. So sometimes, we all come from the same places. Sometimes, you let a few get a good editor and put a lot of the stuff on YouTube so people can pick up on the culture. Not everybody is starting from the culture, from the beginning. A lot of these people, they're younger folks, wanting to see what's going on, how we bust it up and what we call lyrics. And they're looking in and they're not really getting a full chance to absorb what you guys are bringing to the table. And I feel like it's because just thinking about the money all the time. Sometimes you got to open the YouTube and let the younger folks see what y'all doing so they can look over and say, I want to try that. Let me give it a shot, So don't forget about the youth, because what you're making now, it doesn't really, it don't say what it's not, you can't say I'm making this for the future. It's one of those games where you got to keep, building and building and building to get something substantial to be. So, and on the other hand, for the people that's watching in, if you support these battle rappers, maybe pick up a merch or something, for Tay-Rock, or buy something, when they out there, when they have their battles on, usually they'll have merch that day. It builds the culture, We did it for hip hop. We did it for, now we have a genre, that's the genre, on the side is still hip hop, y'all. So when you see people out there trying to make something work, don't look past, because all black people, I know us well, look past what they're wearing, the jewelry. Don't, because nowadays you gotta look like you made it. You know what I mean? So we ain't make it until we made it. So, don't look at them for that. Those are accomplishments, because when you see people out there and they're celebrating themselves, they're making it. They're just trying to get their thing up. And when I see it stop, every time I see it stopping, whether it's podcasting, it's always due to money or some type of issues with that. And our culture, we got to work on each other. We got to understand, we got to trust each other and know that the people that you chop it up with or you making money with, you got to be people to trust. We got to start trusting each other. There's a lot of things going on. I know everybody trying to get it, but if you have all the battlers doing their own leagues, then we ain't have no battles for the battle. So let the people that's there to support, like Battle Facts, let them. You have to give the content creators open doors to let us do what we do as far as like promoting you guys or talking about the battles. Don't be so quick to pull our stuff down, because that's what helps the culture grow. Don't you know, hip hop, they made a lot of off of people stealing and bootlegging. They made it big off of that, y'all. The mixtape era was a lot of that. I bought a lot of, like, even though, see, people got it confused. There was a lot of bootleggers bootlegging. It wasn't like when DJ Clue drops off his pack, or he drops off the master and they start booting it up. They start dubbing it up. Those are the originals. But then they have people outside, they be, selling them for $1 less. Those are boots. They booting off of that. It's not like Clue gave him too, so you got to know these things, and these are the things that feed the culture. So even bootlegging and things like that still get your name around, and it still helps the artist, oh, he's dope to the youth. There's always going to be new listeners listening in and see what's going on, because people are trying to find themselves in hip hop. And hip hop, sometimes the doors could be shut because you can't see yourself in the things that's going on, because just the way you want to conduct yourself. But yeah, man, shouts out to all the battle rappers out there. I'm always tuned in. I'm always in support. Y'all know that. Shouts out to Easy the Block Captain, man. I forgot to add him in there. You can't, but you see, these are guys that they bring the eyes and ears to the culture. It don't matter how long they was in there or who's better than who. It's all about who are the people connecting with, and that's how people you find value in that. And those are the people that can make things happen for the culture. Stick together, make it work, and make it and keep growing. Because a lot of these, like the WWFs and the WrestleManias, these things lasted for years. These things paid. I mean, so much money went through. Families have been fed time and time again from just doing the right blueprint and making things work for everybody around you. Yeah, there's gonna be people not getting compensated like how, that's how life could tell it. But at the end of the day, the ones who deserve it, the ones that the fans race out there and stand on lines for, we do want to see the people that we look up to making the money that we expect them to make. It's only right. I don't want to see my favorite rappers and stuff like that, they got a frown on their face because, yeah, they came out to battle to entertain us, but they ain't getting what they supposed to behind the scenes. I ain't really digging that. Try to make it work. Besides all of that, what's up? There she go. Much love. I know you have worked hard. You was working at the poll. You see, things worked out for you. You see, that's good energy. I remember you had said you was voting for Donald. And I respect you, because at the end of the day, you have what you see in the best you see out of the country. And now look at it. We all together now because we all have to put it like, okay, now we past the who's gonna be in whose place, and now we work together. So now I'm learning from you guys, and I'm learning, and we can all still come together. It's still more room for us to build. I don't want to hear people not doing this because so and so got in office, or I don't want to hear that. That's just we don't want to go about it like that. You don't do that. That's like in a fight when somebody put down their hands and say, hit me. No, you got to keep going. The fight continues. We still got to build. Still more love and all of that stuff. It's more and more and more and more. For real. All right? It's nothing. I feel like, okay, God knows what he is going to go on before we do. So we just take our steps to try to find better understanding, I love you guys. I really appreciated you guys today, man, tuning into what I had to say, because I wanted to get that off my chest. That is a heavy thing. I just wanted to get off my chest real quick because people, they are depressed right now. There's a lot of people depressed right now. Stop thinking like that. You're not always going to get what you want, all right? Stay blessed. And remember, keep God first. And we all, as people, human beings, we're going to come together and make it work. We're going to make it work. We got to get more healthy. We gotta start doing things a little better, man. We gotta do things and start supporting our own people, man. We gotta start sticking together. We can't do that. No more faking this stuff, and be prepared for whatever is yet to come, whether it be a war or whether it be coming together. We're gonna be prepared. We're gonna be right here prepared. I'll make sure of that. Love you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. Probably y'all gonna make me jump on live tomorrow, man. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And the world is still going, the world ain't gonna stop spinning, The world is not gonna stop spinning, all right? Peace and thank you. And make sure y'all stay tuned I got new stuff dropping. So, all right?